On this van we did the exact same thing that we did on my original van because it really worked out very well. The kitchen sink and the faucet are mounted in the doorway so that the kitchen faucet can double as a shower. And we have a soap maker here, an extra large sink that you'll see in a minute. And then this folds down to create an outdoor cooking surface. And we routed the plumbing under the sink to the side so that you have all of this as usable space. This is for the soap dispenser, and this just goes into a bottle under the sink. Plenty of storage space for all your cooking gear and some food in here, all kinds of different stuff. And you can actually use this as a cooking surface, but you can also use this as a dining surface. If you get camping chairs, they're the perfect height for this height table. So one camping chair can go here and one camping chair can go there, and you can eat dinner right where you cooked it, outside. You don't have to set up any tables, you don't have to do anything. Cook dinner and be eating within 20 minutes of getting to your campsite. So this is the garage. One thing that I had on my original van that I didn't love was it was just all empty storage, which is great because you can customize it to however you want it. When I needed to get something out of one of the bins in the far back, I had to take out 3 bins just to get to it. So what I decided that I wanted to do on the next build was have actual heavy-duty 200-pound drawers under the bed. So each one of these drawers can hold 200 pounds worth of gear. And then we also have some cubbies for anything really that you use often and you want to grab. There's another quick grab cubby here. These are the drawers. I really like the idea of having drawers because it's much easier to get to stuff than pulling out all the bins. That I had 6 bins in my last van. This one has all my camera gear. This one has like my backpack and all my camping gear. So you can kind of customize each drawer for a different activity. So you can have one for camping and hiking and rock climbing and all your outdoor gear. You could have one for camera stuff and one for repairs. Along the road you need to make repairs to the van or repairs to the inside of the cabin. So that's really cool. And then you could have one like miscellaneous one. This is where you fill up your water. So under the bed, under your head, there's a 20-gallon water tank. I also have a 2.5-gallon water heater. The total capacity of freshwater capacity of the van, which is like drinking water, 22.5 gallons. And you just undo this, you take your hose and you fill it up right here. That's pretty much it to fill up your van. It's that easy. You can fill up at campgrounds, you can fill up at friends' houses, you can fill up at a lot of gas stations, and rest stops have hoses where you can fill up with potable water. We have a shore power outlet that hooks up directly to the battery. If you're running low on power, you can plug in at a friend's house or a campsite or anywhere. Sometimes I've been on the road and I was running low on battery and I just plugged in right. I asked the manager at a grocery store and he let me pull in right to the front of the grocery store and plug in. So that's really convenient to have. Also, the van has a wire that runs from the battery that drives the van to the back house battery that powers all the appliances inside the van. So when you're driving, it will top off the van, and it has a battery isolator that will prevent your van battery from being discharged while you drive. One thing that we like to do is we don't like any holes in the roof of the van, other than the fan. Obviously you have to cut open the roof of the van, but as far as mounting the solar panels, they're mounted with aircraft glue. But also, instead of running the wires through the roof of the van, we came into the housing of the backup camera, and that way there's no holes drilled in the roof of the van. In addition to the backup camera, this van also has backup sensors built into the rear bumper, so when you're backing up, it'll notify you if you're getting close to anything. All right, so we're inside the van now, and this is the sink that I was talking about. The one thing that I didn't love about my last van was the sink was just a little bit too small. So we put in a bigger sink, same faucet. We actually put in a soap dispenser on this one because on the last van I had just a bottle of soap that I would, whenever I wash my hands, I'd have to like get it out of the cabinet and wash my hands. This is like much easier to just pump some soap onto your hand and not have to worry about getting a container out. It's very convenient. It's got a little whatever you want to use this for. You could use it for drying dishes. You could use it for holding your toiletries. You could use it for, you know, any kind of number of different things. Under the sink, it's got tons of storage space. We routed the plumbing to the side of the cabinet so that you have, this is for the soap dispenser. This is going to be routed. This will be routed over here to whatever kind of soap container you want. This is all usable storage space. One big thing that we're all about is maximizing storage space. So this is the button to turn on the water pump. You can actually leave the water pump on and it would be fine because the water pump is activated when you turn on the faucet. But we wanted to add in an extra switch just in case you have a backup way to turn off the water. So if you turn off the water, you can just turn it on by the pump. This is the closet that we built. We have a little mirror in here. I personally don't like having a mirror in my van. I didn't have one in my original van. This is cool to have if you're not like full-time traveling like I am, and maybe you're living in the city in your van and you have to go to work every day and stuff like that, where you have to kind of be presentable. It's nice to have a mirror. Up here we have, you know, just some shelving. These are some bins that you can put whatever you want in them. You can use it for however you want. This is kind of an example of how you might want to use it. We put an outlet in here just in case somebody wanted to put like an appliance in here, like a microwave or something, but didn't want to have it out in the van. A toaster would be really cool, like a NutriBullet or like a blender. You could think of a million different things that you want to plug in. You have an outlet in the closet, which is really cool. Maybe you just want to charge some camera equipment, and if you want to charge stuff while you're driving, you can't have your camera or your GPS unit or anything like on the counter because it will fall off while you're driving. So it's nice to have charging capabilities in cabinets, and you'll see something really cool in one of the drawers that I'm about to show you. This is the lower cabinet. In here we have the water heater. So this is a 2.5 gallon Bosch water heater, and you can get a good 5 to 10 minute shower or more off of that water heater, and you can wash your dishes and all that stuff. It really, really works great. It doesn't use up too much power. And then we also have a 2-burner camping stove, and we have a propane personal heating device, a Mr. Buddy heater. And when it's cold outside, you just throw that on the floor or on the countertop, and that will heat this van up in 5 minutes. It's really powerful. And both of those run off of these 1-pound propane canisters. And they sell a device where you can refill these up, and yeah, you don't have to throw them away. So we built this custom ceiling with like these wall slats, and we have 8 of these 3-volt low voltage DC lights in the van, which give a really nice vibe in the van because it's nice and bright and cozy inside the van. Here we have the bed. It's a memory foam mattress. It'll be 6 inches, super comfortable. We put in this custom wall paneling. It's real wood, beautiful gray wall paneling, super nice and high end. We also have 2 outlets, one here and one on this side. So you could use this one for, let's say you want to charge something like a bike pump or something in the back of your van, any kind of electric device that you need for like your gear or something like that. And then that one you can use to charge, maybe you want to charge your phone or something like that in bed, or an iPad or your laptop. You can charge it right there. And then next we have the drawers, so even more storage. These are all soft closed drawers. I'm putting some pressure on these and these won't come open while you're driving, but they're pretty easy to open and they're nice high drawers. A lot of drawers, when they build them a little bit lower, but these are the full 6-7 inch drawers. In this drawer we have something really cool. We have 4 USB charging ports. So if you want to charge your GoPro or your Garmin GPS tracking unit, any kind of camera batteries or anything that takes a USB, charge right here while you're driving, and you don't have to have stuff flying around on your countertops. Instead of putting more drawers, we put doors here. And our thinking behind that was, in this cabinet door, you could put like shoes, you could build a couple shelves in here, you could put more gear in here. On this side, we have a space for a toilet. Now this is just a regular camping toilet, but we built this specifically big enough for a 2.6 Dometic portable toilet, which would come up to about here, and that way your toilet's nice and tucked away. This cabinet you can use for pretty much whatever you want. You could use this for food or cleaning supplies. Right now we have this water tank, but that doesn't need to be in here. That was just an old water tank that we had and we just threw in here. If you want to have like backup water, I don't know that you would need to have backup water because you have 22.5 gallons for this van, so that's a lot of water. This is pretty much a general storage cabinet for food and cleaning supplies. This is just an extra work surface. This is quartz, a very high-end material, the same as the sink counter. This would be a little shelf for putting like little knickknacks and stuff like that on here. Cooking equipment, whatever you want. This is kind of like the brains of the van. So you have your light switch, you have your fan switch, you have your water pump switch, and your switch for your fridge. You have a couple outlets, you have a couple USB outlets, and then you have a car lighter charger here. We wanted to put lots of outlets in the van for people to be able to charge all their equipment. And this is the switch for the inverter. We have a 2,000 watt Renogy inverter. The whole system is Renogy. Renogy solar panels, Renogy lithium ion battery. It has a 2,000 watt Renogy inverter and a Renogy solar controller. Up here we just have even more storage. We wanted to add some kind of storage where it was like really easy to grab stuff. You don't have to open cabinet doors and dig in the back of the cabinet. Just kind of like really kind of quick grab and go stuff. Maybe spices up here, maybe cooking utensils up here, maybe some of your toiletries up here. Anything that you want to just kind of grab off, and you don't want to have to open the cabinet door and, you know, move around all the stuff in the cabinet. These are kind of like movable. You can pull these out if you want to like look in here. We really like how this turned out with the quick grab everyday stuff. We have another cabinet up here, a nice big cabinet for getting blankets or pillows, you know, any kind of stuff that you might want to grab while you're in bed. So that's a nice little cabinet here. Here we have the fridge. And on my last van, I had the fridge on the floor. It wasn't horrible, but I always said that on my next van, or if I ever build a van for somebody else, I would like to have the fridge at eye level, because every time you want to put your groceries away in the fridge, or every time you want to get something out of the fridge, you kind of have to like bend down or squat down, and why do that if you don't have to? So on this van, we actually put the fridge close to eye level. So, you know, you want to get anything out of the fridge, just right here. This van's great. It has a tiny little freezer, which if you want to put like ice cream, bars, any kind of frozen dinners, you can fit 4 cans in here, or beer bottles, or anything you want to fit in here. There's 4 of them, condiments, bottles, or anything like that. This will fit 4 more cans up here. And then plenty of storage in the fridge. This is, you know, more than enough for like 1 or 2 people, plenty of fridge space. And then again, we have even more storage. You know, you could put utensils in here, cooking equipment. Maybe this is your go-to drawer for all your gear and little small knick-knack things. Maybe you want to use some of these drawers for your clothes. So you have 4 drawers here. You have 4 drawers here, and you have 4 drawers in the garage. In total, you have 12 drawers. 8 of them are inside the cabin of the van. So that's a lot of drawers for a van. And you have a closet, and you have 2 cabinets. That's a lot of storage. And then you have an upper cabinet and an upper cubby. You also have storage over the driver's cabin as well. Another thing that I really wanted in my next van build was a dedicated workspace. So I don't know if you remember on my last van, but I had a lagoon table mounted onto the bed, and every time I wanted to eat dinner or work, I had to swivel the table and lower it to get it into position for working or dining. And then every time that I wanted to use it in bed, I'd have to lift it and then swivel it. Really not a huge deal, but I really like the idea of having like a dedicated workspace. Whenever you feel like hungry, or whenever you feel inspired to work or write or do whatever you want to do, you don't have to set up the table and chairs and all that stuff. This table comes apart, and you can store it next to the seat so that it's not in anybody's way. If you're in the city and you want some privacy, we have a curtain here, and it's mounted to a hospital track, which is really nice and slimline. If you're parked in the city and you want to work and eat, or you want general privacy and not have people looking in your windshield, this curtain is insulated as well. So a lot of the heat and cold that causes the van to change in temperature typically comes from the driving area, through the windshield and the driver and passenger windows. So having an insulated curtain here really helps out with maintaining the temperature that you want in the van. We don't have it in this van, but it is an option if you want us to install it. You can put a swivel on the driver's seat, and you can actually swivel the driver's seat around, and you can have a table for 2. So that's a really cool thing to have. Other options would be if you want us to either paint the van in a rhino liner, we could do that. You can also wrap the van in any color that you want. You can install a diesel heater under the seat here so that you don't have to set up the Mr. Buddy heater every time. We wanted to make this van a little bit more affordable. My last van was out of the price range that most people could afford. So Our whole thought process behind this van was to make something very high quality, but at the same time affordable. So we left out a lot of the bells and whistles, like the roof rack and the Rhino liner paint job and the upgraded wheels and tires and the diesel heater. We left the essentials. So you have a portable heater to start out with, and if you decide that that's not good enough for you, we can always upgrade you to a diesel heater. Or if you say, I know I want the diesel heater, we can install the diesel heater before you pick up the van. Or the diesel heater, the upgraded wheels and tires, the paint job or the wrap, the swivel, the roof rack, all those things start adding up on the cost of the van, and then it becomes like out of the price range of a lot of people. It's becoming comical at this point, but we have even more storage up here. A lot of the base Ram ProMasters, they don't have this. Only the upgraded models have this, the ones that have the backup camera, the ones that have the backup sensors. This is really awesome to have. It goes way down in there. I like keeping stuff in here like my hammock, my jackets, frequently used camera gear, or my frequently used climbing gear. Anything that I'm grabbing a lot, I keep it up here. And then last but not least, even more storage for stuff that you want to grab while you're driving. This is like awesome for snacks. You know, you don't want to have to pull the van over and get like snacks out of the back of the van. Any kind of like quick stuff that you can grab while you're driving or your passenger. Under the mattress here is a door where you can access all your electrical. We have a 170 amp hour lithium phosphate battery, and then we have a 2000 watt Renogy inverter, pure sine wave inverter. And then we have a Renogy Rover solar charge controller. This is what you plug your shore power into. So that shore power outlet that is in the bumper goes to this, and then this goes and charges the battery. And the same thing for the water system under the other side of the bed. So we have a water pump here, we have an outlet here, and then we have a 20-gallon water tank here. And we also have a strainer in case any kind of debris gets into the water tank. It won't go into the water pump and stop up the water pump. Here we have a Max Air Deluxe fan, which is really good for regulating the temperature inside the van. And you can also set it to auto so that it turns on at a specific temperature as well. On the roof, we have 4 100-watt Renogy solar panels that are mounted with aircraft glue. In this way, we don't have any holes in the roof of the van other than the hole that we had to cut for the Max Air fan. Under here, we have a 7-gallon gray water tank so that all your wastewater is all under the van.